Hey everyone, my name is James and welcome back to Soundline. Today I'm very excited to be talking to you about Rega as a brand, and I've got some of their turntables here to talk about. It is a new brand that we've recently taken on. We're very excited about it. We've played with all the product and really loving the way it's sounding and loving the build quality and that sort of thing. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoy this video. So, Rega turntables. We have access to the entire range of Rega turntables, not just what you see here. We've just got a small selection here to kind of, provide some context to the video. We've got the Planner 1, the brand new Planner 3 RS, which is a special edition of the Planner 3, the Planner 6 and the Planner 8. We've also had the 10 in here and are going to be getting a Naya pretty soon, which I'm really excited about to play with and hear. A little bit about Rega as a brand. They're an English company, so they're really rooted in hi-fi. It's a long-standing company in turntables. A couple of things that make their turntables unique in the turntable space that, every now and again you come across these brands that in some ways go against the grain of the hi-fi industry. Rega are one of these brands that go against the grain when it comes to mass in turntables. So often you see with high-end turntables, you see that they're huge, heavyweight, great big things made of solid steel and stainless and acrylic and all sorts of heavy materials. Rega go the complete opposite. They try and make everything as low mass as possible. This is a design philosophy that they employ across their entire range. The idea or the principle behind it is that something that is low mass will easily transmit vibrations through and out of it. So any vibrations that enter the turntable from either the surface or the air itself are designed to just pass straight on through out of the turntable and carry on their way. That way they're not imbued into the sound of the system. Some ways that they do that, kind of one of their original designed turntables is very similar to what you see with the Planner 8, the 10 and the Naya. If you focus on this Plinth, they've removed almost all the material that is unnecessary to the structure of the plinth itself. So that's why there's all these big holes in it. It's not the conventional rectangular shape. They've cut all of the border off and cut holes in the middle, reducing the mass of the plinth itself as much as possible, but still having a really solid material for the platter so that it doesn't want to waver in its speed. It's a nice consistent speed as it rotates. They use really cool materials like this kind of air-blown foam material, which is incredibly lightweight. They use that in the 6 plinth, the 8 plinth, and the 10 plinth. It's a really interesting concept. I've had a listen to it. The turntables do sound great, so it's not like this idea that they've come up with just doesn't work. It absolutely does work. I think it just creates a different sound signature for the brand. When you listen to competing brands who rely a bit more on mass, they are still great sounding turntables, but they have a different signature. Something else that is kind of unique to Rega turntables, specifically in their Tonearm, is their 3-bolt mounting system. So when you look at pretty much every turntable out there these days, their Tonearm will have a couple of slots or sometimes a couple of holes for the mounts or the bolts to go through into the cartridge. Rega has those, but then they also have a third one. Now that third one, right in the middle at the front of the Tonearm, is specifically for mounting Rega phono cartridges to their turntables, because that's the other thing they do. They offer a great selection of handmade phono MM and MC cartridges that go wonderfully with their turntables, and when it comes to setting these up for demonstration or for customers in their homes, it means that I can rely on that third bolt and it is going to get the cartridge position exactly right every single time, no matter how many times I do it. Normally when I set up a turntable, I've got gauges and protractors and all sorts of tools that, luckily I have as a professional to be able to set cartridges up correctly on Tonearms. But a Rega, basically anyone can buy it, use the 3 bolt hole positions, and it will force that cartridge to be in exactly the right position for the turntable that it has been supplied with. So that's really, really nice. The other kind of great thing about the fact that the brand makes the turntables and their cartridges, even though you can put these turntables with all sorts of different brands of cartridges, as a retailer, for the benefit of the customer, I know that certain combinations are going to work well, or work really well for customers who are trying to find a turntable at a certain price or certain sound signature. So I can reliably sell a Planner 6 with a Naya Pro MC cartridge and know almost pretty much every time that combination is going to sound great. You know, whenever we get a new brand of turntable in, you know, whatever it might be, usually our process is to, you know, listen to that product with a variety of different cartridges or head shells or styluses or whatever it is we need to do to try and find really good combinations. This is something that we do both for our own enjoyment but also for our customers' benefit. We don't want to just sell stuff just for the sake of it. We like to listen to everything that we sell and really understand it and find combinations that work. Rega have kind of taken some of that legwork out of it for us and given us some great combinations that we know work. One other thing about the brand, and as you may be already noticing and wondering what these guys are if you're not sure, these boxes here, the majority of Rega's turntables use outboard transformers. These are not power supplies. There is actually a separate power supply that plugs into the wall, which is a AC to DC low voltage power supply that plugs in here. They're pretty much all 24 volt DC. But then this is a speed controller as well as a transformer. So there is a specialty DIN cable that goes from these boxes to the turntables that they're associated with. So these outboard speed controller transformers that are supplied with the turntables at the factory are individually tuned to match the motor in the turntable that they are supplied with. Like to the degree that the transformer that comes with one P6 shouldn't be used with another P6. It is specifically that speed controller transformer with that exact motor, accounting for inconsistencies in manufacturing. Manufacturing electronic motors with 100% consistency is incredibly difficult. Rega know this, so they account for it by making and adjusting every speed controller to match the motor that is in the turntable itself. I love the fact that they go that extra mile. It means you know that the speed on your turntable is going to be as accurate as they can possibly make it for the money that you're spending. And in turntables, speed accuracy is one of the most important things you can have. So that's, you know, some of the key technological points about Rega that make them different. I just want to talk a little bit about the sound. Overall, so I've listened to all these turntables here with a variety of speakers and amplifiers. The general overall signature of Rega that I get is naturality. They are incredibly natural and sweet sounding. Because they are low mass, they are arguably a little bit leaner on the bass than some other brands, but the bass that they do have there is really accurate and nice, and the treble is fast and quick and clean, and I think that comes down to the fact that they are low mass, so the vibrations or any you know, interference that you get from vibration does pass straight through. So the design works. I think it has merit. It works great with the multiple brands of speakers that we have here, so that's great for us. It works great with different brands of amplifiers. You don't have to put them just with Rega amplifiers. That being said, because Rega also do great amplifiers and great phono stages, that's a really easy way to get some great synergy in your sound system. A Rega turntable, phono stage, and amplifier is a great sounding sound system, and you could put them with a variety of speakers. We've got most of these products here available in store for demonstration, and anything you don't see here we also have at our local city-based supplier, so we can actually get it very easily. If you want to hear any of these or come in and talk to us about it and have a coffee or whatever, feel free to come in. We'd love to see you. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ka kite anō.